Welcome to Can I Park Here? Brought to you by FindAFashionTruck.com. Nashay and Estrell's mission is to inspire future and existing small business owners. They don't claim to be experts. They're simply trying to figure this all out, just like you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Can I Park Here podcast that can be found on StartAFashionTruck.com. My name is Nashay, and I'm here with
Estrell.
Hey guys. So today we have another Airstream, which is pretty cool. I think like this season, it's almost like half and half, if I got it right. It feels like we've done almost half Airstreams and half like box trucks.
That's quite possible.
Something like that, right? Which is kind of cool because it just shows you like you could be creative in whatever. I mean, and we're not including like buses, and I feel like there's some other mobile, vehicles out there too.
Yeah,
that are
RVs.
options. Right. I mean, it's like really it's just about like how creative can you get? I mean, for some reason, what pops in my mind is the finance bar, which is out of a bus, right? But when you look in her bus, like it's amazing. Like it looks like you're sitting in someone's living room. So I don't know, even though I do love the Airstreams, don't hate me, box truck people and bus people, but I love all of them that, I don't know, make you feel like you're being transported into another place when you walk in. I think that's my whole thing is like walking into something and it's unexpected, right?
Right. So this episode, we have Marisa. She's the owner of the Wonder Shop in Florida. She, like Nashay said, has a lovely Airstream. And the thing about her is she was searching stalking Craigslist like every day for 4 months, she said. And then she finally found the Airstream of her dreams. Mm-hmm. Just one day. Randomly.
It's like meant to be, right?
And then she also took a whole summer and she planned out her brand and she strategized on how she was going to launch her online store and then get the mobile boutique started. So it's all about planning, people, and she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Amazing. So Stay tuned. Check out how she started. Check out how she planned her amazing launch party, how she got sponsors for it, and so much more. Here we go.
All right. We have Marisa here from the Wonder Shop. Welcome, Marisa.
Welcome.
Thank you. How are you guys?
Good. So I can't wait to dig into your story because number one, Estrell knows, I am in love with Airstreams. I think, if I did my own mobile boutique, it would have to be an Airstream because I just love the look of it. But before we get into, why you chose the Airstream and all that other good stuff, can you just tell us a little bit about you before the mobile boutique?
Yeah, definitely. So before I started, I had just graduated college and I got a job working in the industry that I actually got a degree in. And I lasted about a month or two until I realized this is not for me. I don't want to do this. I stuck it out for 9 months, throughout the time. As soon as the 2 month hit, I was daydreaming in my cubicle thinking, okay, this is not my life. I am 22. I am not living my life like this. So started thinking of, some other ideas. I was literally searching jobs all the time. I got to do something else. I had previously worked for Red Bull in college. So I had a really fun job, so sitting in a cubicle was just not for me.
What was your degree in?
Event planning.
Ah, okay.
Super fun. So not really too much of a hard degree, but it was fun. My mom actually had 3 stores. So growing up, I was in the retail industry and always, had a passion for fashion. I just never really, I think because my mom had stores, I don't know, maybe I just never thought of myself having one. until I was sitting in my cubicle, like, okay, I'll do anything at this point. And she suggested, why don't you start an online store? Because that way you can pretty much have flexibility of whatever you wanted to do. You could, be here, be there. You just work from home. And I was like, that sounds awesome. So kind of planted the seed there, started building the brand, and I got really, really into it. This is all while I'm still at my other job. I'm like, all right, you know what? I really want to go with this. But I needed time because my job, I was there 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I didn't really have enough time to really focus, and I wanted to focus on it. So luckily, my parents have a business, so they hired me to help them out in the office. So it gave me flexibility to, go to conventions, small business conventions, entrepreneurial conventions if I needed to go, or, I could come in early, leave early kind of thing. So it was nice. They supported me in that aspect. So that's kind of when I basically spent all summer building the entire brand.
So at the time, was it called The Wander Shop or was it called something else?
It was called The Wander Shop because
okay.
I love to travel, and I actually had started a blog called Our Wander Years. It was not that great. It was just me and my boyfriend who traveled so much. And I think that blog title kind of got me thinking like, oh, if I had a store name, I would want it to be Wander because I want to travel, yada, yada, yada. So it was always The Wander Shop. But once I got kind of thinking and I got really into it. It wasn't just an online store anymore. And I was like, oh, well, the pop-up shop movement is here. And I could, just set up and go here and go to all these events and yada, yada. But the thought of having to put up a tent and set up a booth for every event was like, oh, no, like, I'm not doing that. So that's when I started thinking mobile. And, I wanted to be able to, if I had to, be able to set up a tent just to be able to set up at an event and by myself without any help, but with a tent, it's just, you're lugging out so much stuff, and especially with clothing, it's a lot.
Yeah. So about how many months was it from you starting the online shop to you actually purchasing your Airstream?
I launched the online store in September of 2015, and I bought the Airstream February 2016, so 6 months.
Wow, you were on it. So what made you decide to do an Airstream over a truck?
So I did a lot of research, and I realized that the trucks break down a lot, and I was like, not trying to deal with that. So I was looking at some other ideas and, just pretty much Googling. I probably looked at every page on Google of fashion truck, mobile truck, whatever. And I saw the Madewell Airstream, and I was like, yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that is kind of beautiful.
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and that's what I want. I just immediately when I saw it, because the trucks were I don't know, it's like you see love at first sight. I wasn't loving the trucks. It didn't suit me at all. So I kind of just, and then finally saw the Airstream and was like, done. Now let's get to work. Where can I find one?
Now, question for you, because it's so funny, because it's literally Estrella and I always debate this. She said she would get a truck, and I was like, oh, I think I would get an Airstream. And we've seen beautiful versions of both of them, right? But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the thing that kind of turns you off a little bit on Airstreams, Estrella, is that you can't drive it. You have to hook it up, right? And so how is that for you, Marisa? Did you already have a vehicle that you could hook the Airstream up to? How easy is it as far as when you get to an event, backing it in and making sure the Airstream is in the right place? Did you have any issues with that? Because, I know with the fashion truck, it's you just have this big truck, you park it, and then you're good to go.
Honestly, I think that's the beauty of having a trailer is you can drop your trailer and go if you have a car to drive around. So we do a lot of events in Miami, and one event we have to be there at 9 a.m. We're the first ones there because we have a vehicle, or we have to come in with the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the event doesn't start till 2. So like, what am I going to sit there for 5 hours? So I just drop the trailer and we go roam around and get some breakfast, or I don't know, do whatever. Really, there's so much to do in Miami. And then we come back. It takes us an hour to set up and we go.
Oh, wow. Now, how is it maintaining the trailer? Because, like keeping that beautiful shine.
Well, I don't really wash it. I'm probably not the best but I did get it washed once. It stays pretty shiny.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad. And there's definitely some watermarks on it, but it's really not too bad to maintain at all. I think once a year, like I'm about to take my one Airstream out and get it repolished. So then I think just once a year mainly.
Now, in regards to actually the process of finding the truck and purchasing it, where did you find the truck, and how much of an investment did it take to start up?
So I checked Craigslist every day for about 4 months. Every morning it became a routine. Wake up, alarm goes off, shut the alarm off, open the Safari on my phone and refresh the page, and I was not finding anything for a month or 2. Everything was in Kansas and really expensive. So I started changing. I would check Fort Lauderdale area, Central Florida area. I go all the way up to New York, and I would check every day, every single area. And I finally found one in Asheville. So I reached out to the lady. I FaceTimed with her. I had my dad's neighbor. He's really into trailers. He has a couple RVs, so he kind of walked through the trailer with the lady on FaceTime. And I wired over the $5,000 without even seeing it in person. And
Really?
Oh, wow. That's confidence.
No, yeah. My parents were too happy about that one when I told them I did that. But I just felt it. I felt it was right. I did ask her, the lady, I was like, listen, like, I don't want to, wire. I'll only do half until I get there. And they were actually meeting me halfway from Asheville. So they were going to meet me in Gainesville. And she's like, listen, like she has an Airstream farm, so she was like, I can't, ruin my reputation for trying to steal your money, So, this is her business. This is how she makes a living. So I know I did a lot of Facebook stalking on her, and I did a lot of research. Whatever, I know this is the one. I'm going to do it, and did it. And sure enough, they met me there. Everything was fine. It was perfect.
Wow. It's just funny. It's like when you have that feeling, it's like, when you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the gut feeling. It was totally the gut feeling. It was a crazy gut feeling, but it worked out.
No, I'm sitting here like scrolling through Facebook, looking at your pictures from the launch party, and it looks like it was an awesome turnout.
It was super fun. Well, I'm an event major, so
right.
So what all did you do to arrange the launch party?
What did I do? I had obviously mimosas, and I had Lagunitas beer sponsor the event, so I got all the beer sponsored. I hosted it at the place where I did my pop-up shops in the 6-month period when I didn't have the Airstream. It's like, it's the cutest little community in Fort Lauderdale. There's a small coffee shop. There's a French restaurant, and there is a Mexican restaurant, and it's just a little community of small businesses. It's called Eucalyptus Gardens. So I would do my little pop-up shops there, and of course they had me there. So it was we kind of worked out a thing where that would be my home base, and whenever I traveled or had events, I would be gone for that week or weekend, and I would always come back there. So it was nice because I always had a home to go to where I could be open every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I soon realized that getting that thing out of that little courtyard was really hard. So I did a couple events and I ended up just staying there for the summer. But it's a great area. There's a lot of land there. It's really artistic. We had a raffle for the launch party. I had all the restaurants donate a gift certificate, and we just like to have it fun, and that's kind of what we're all about, is just having fun with it. More than a boutique, it's an event in itself.
Since you were a new business, how did you go about getting the sponsor?
Yeah.
I actually worked for Lagunitas as well when I was in the summer of building out the brand. I had met a couple brand reps, and they loved me. I got along really great with them. They're like, listen, we do some events here and there if you want to come out. And, it was fun. I was almost like a brand ambassador for them. So they sure enough, were more than willing to help me out.
Yeah, because I think, sometimes people are afraid to, like, I guess, ask people for things that are even in their network, because in your case, it wasn't a stranger. You just had to, just say, hey, I'm having this event. Do you mind sponsoring me? But I think, sometimes the fear of someone saying no, stops people from doing that.
No, I think that you should just try. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no, and you always try. Working for Red Bull too, we had so many people come to us and say, hey, we're having an event. Would you be able to drop off some Red Bull? And, if we were able to, we did. We always tried to. So it doesn't hurt to ask at all.
Right. Now, from that, what would you say, let's say there's someone out there who's about to launch and they're trying to debate if they should do it or not, have kind of a launch party or fashion show or whatever. What were some of the benefits that you got out of hosting the event? I got
a lot of new people that were there at the coffee shop. People are always curious. The only downside or challenging side is where the little place is located is almost off a dirt road. It's like a hidden gem of Fort Lauderdale. So it's not like we're getting foot traffic. It's only if you know about it, But I think more than anything is your friends and family are 100% going to be there. And I've learned that. I am so grateful for all of my friends and family supporting me, and they are at every single event I host. And the one thing is that you can get out of it are the photos. Have someone with a nice camera, and you're putting an image out there that you had this party. And when people go back and they follow you after they just found you at an event, like, oh wow, look, they have parties. Oh, they did this. Oh, cool. It's more you're building a resume for yourself almost. What happens is when you apply for events, at least for me down here, everyone wants to see your setup, and everyone wants to, I have to upload photos. And if, I have all these events and I have all these photos to send to them, and they're like, wow, that looks fun. It's a fun party, so the benefit of when applying to places that they'll hopefully accept me.
So once you had, you started the online shop, you figured out you wanted a trailer, you got the trailer, you had the launch. At this point, were you still working for someone else, like your parents or anything, or were you doing this full time? Full
time. As soon as I bought the trailer, and that was February 2016, I worked every single day in this warehouse and got that thing going. It took me 63 days. Me, my dad, my friends, my family, everyone. I was on the weekends. Everyone was out here helping me. I wanted a quick turnaround. I wasn't trying to sit around and wait, because I wasn't really working. At that point, I kind of wasn't working for my parents, and then I was only doing the Lagunitas. So I really needed to get it up and running so that I could, start making some money.
So after that, you do the launch, and, I'm just kind of like walking people through the process because we get a lot of questions like, on how to start and what to expect. How long would you say was it before you felt like you were profitable, or are you still kind of like working towards that?
No, I'm definitely profitable. I think the one difference, between me and I guess any other mobile boutique is that I had that home base where I could be open every day. So even though I was mobile, I was open every day. So no matter what, I had my doors open. People were trying to get coffee, food, and that was kind of the benefit that I had. So I ran the shop every day like a normal brick and mortar, I would say. I just parked out. So,
well, I think that's true, because since you were able to dedicate all of your time, you have more time to make it profitable.
Exactly. And, over the summer, we had, I worked with a couple other local designers. One was a bathing suit designer, and the other girl did, she took over the clothing and, tied the back of it and made, the clothes cute with the whole trend with the lace up and whatnot. But we did a fashion show. I think more than anything, as I always did events, to kind of, at least once a month, I try to do an event to get people there and to build the momentum at the property.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, what I really like, because I'm a designer by trade, so I love like when people really take the time to like really figure out like their brand, and I feel like you've done a good job of that. So it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of your photos, are they professional photos, or have you just gotten really good with your camera? And then they also have like a very unique style to it. So how did you like figure out like what your brand was, like what your style is?
Well, I wanted it to be me, not that it's like all about me, but I wanted to feel me, and I tell people, you're shopping my closet pretty much. Anything in here I would and I want, them to feel that. And I personally don't like Instagram accounts that have bad photos, blurry, a lot of just, wording, those little memes. They're fun once in a while, but like your entire page shouldn't be a meme.
Right.
And I kind of wanted to stay away from that. And so I kind of just was like, all right, let's just take fun photos, make the aesthetic nice. It's not just clothing. It's, us in a field or this, or like, I want it to be about, our journey and where we are, we're here, we're there. And rather than about, this item, let's zoom in really close to this tank top that no one really cares about.
Right.
Like, they're going to come to your shop because it's an experience. And the clothing is a bonus.
Right.
No,
I could see it in your photos. Like, it feels like you're like hanging out with a friend.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If I have to work, I want to make it fun,
Yeah. And Lisa, what's your favorite part of the business? Like, what do you look forward to the most? Is it just selling in general, interacting with your customers, styling people? Like, what do you look forward to?
I would say that's a tough question, but I would say the one I like the most is inspiring people. So I get to meet so many people, and they've never seen that, they've never seen this, and this is so cool. And to see me be such a young entrepreneur really gives me life when I have 50, 60, 70-year-old women, 40-year-old women, 30-year-old women, 20-year-old, like men, women, like all ages come in and just jaw drop, and that's just the experience of, exciting people, I guess, and giving them something that they haven't seen. they're just, wow, this isn't just the mall. This is more than that. This is a dream. And I get so many people come in, oh, I've always wanted an Airstream. Oh, I've always wanted it. The number one thing I hear people say is, wow, I wish I could do that. I'm stuck in my boring job. And I'm like, listen, I was in my boring job. You just gotta do it. You just have to get out.
Yeah.
So I think more than anything, I really do like to inspire people and tell my story, because it is a cool story, and more people need to not be so stuck in a rut. If they want to do something, try it out. If it doesn't work out, whatever, you'll find something else.
Things tend to work themselves out. Yeah.
And you sell men's clothing as well, right? So how hard is it harder to find men's fashion than versus the women's fashion? And how do you kind of like divvy up the space in the Airstream to say, okay, well, do you do like a half and half, or how do you portion that out?
I have half and half. So the left rack is all men's and the right side is all women's. I have a built-in little like fence that we made for all the accessories that's on the right-hand side too. So it's really easy. When men come in, hey, men's is on the left, women's is on the right. I lucked out with my men's brands. They're both Florida-based brands, and people, I love that it's Florida-based. That definitely it shows in the style of their designs, and it really helps sell to my customers because we are in South Florida, and a lot of their prints are very, palm trees and fun. They kind of get the whole Florida feel. So it is easy for me to sell men's clothing, and also too, just, I know my guy friends very well, and I know their style. So I kind of shop the way they dress. My customers.
And so now that you've been, because let's see, if I have my math right, has it been 2 years yet since you've even opened the online shop?
It'll be 2 years in September for the online.
In September. Okay.
It's coming up on a year for the Airstream in April.
So kind of what are some of your lessons learned? Like if there's somebody else out there who kind of is like in that 9-to-5 job and they're like, okay, I am starting my fashion truck this summer. What are some of the things that they should keep in mind?
Well, definitely do your research on the area, market-wise. So I just really lucked out with having this really great community, but I launched a traveling store. So I have 2 Airstreams, and one of them is the permanent location. Now it just stays there at that little community. And then the other one is for the events that I do, because I built up such a, customer on a daily basis. I'm just known at that little community. So I opened the other one in September, and, it's really hard to do these little events, because I try to just stick to the big events only because the little ones just, I personally feel like it's not worth my time. Maybe it's because I work every day at the, other store day, permanent location day to day, that to go out for a 2-hour event, and it's not worth it for me. So I stick to like the 3-day events, and it is hard. Like that's definitely the most challenging thing. And also it's very challenging because I'm with customers all day. So the only time I can really get work done is either after, or I, just now hired another girl to help me. So she comes in. So at least I have some office time during the day, but it's a lot of research. You have to find out all these events that are going on. And I think the most important thing is find local artists that have been doing these events, whether or not it's a mobile boutique or not. Even if it's a jewelry artist, they've been doing it 2 years, they know where the markets are, and you want to talk to them. So that's kind of one thing that, I've definitely learned is, I'm kind of teaming up with a lot of local girls who have her own jewelry and, you know, different unique things, but they've definitely helped me out. Like, hey, there's this festival going on. Have you applied? No, I never even heard about it. Okay, here's the link. So it does help to, you know, don't narrow it down to just reaching out to mobile boutiques in the area. Reach out to the people that are in these markets that have been going to these markets for a couple years.
No, smart. Just smart. Well, cool. Well, we just have like a few wrap-up questions just to help the audience get to know you a little bit better. Do you have a favorite podcast, blog, book, or TV show? And if so, what is it?
Oh, God. I guess I do TV, if anything, and it's definitely The Office. Or Parks and Rec.
Right. So
I love both of those.
Of course.
Oh, wait, Game of Thrones too. I'm a Game of Thrones fan, and those are my three. You know, Gilmore Girls, I guess, if we're going old school, but so that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm just so tired at the end of the night. I mean, I don't want to do anything, and 20-minute shows are like, you know, it's perfect. I've probably seen Office and Parks and Rec like the whole entire season 12 different times. Like, I'm excited.
Now, if you could have any celebrity, entertainer, model, athlete, anybody visit your mobile boutique, who would it be?
I don't know. I actually had the owner of The Lovely Bride come into my store the other day, which was kind of cool.
Oh, that's the blogger, right? Is it a blogger?
No, she has bridal shops. She's got 12 different ones around the U.S.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, she's another girl boss, but she came into the shop. She was in town. She just opened the store in Wynwood, so that was kind of cool.
What do you like to do in your free time to wind down and de-stress from work?
I like to play with my puppy. I have a little golden retriever, and he's the cutest thing ever. He's like my little shop dog. I actually got him 2 weeks after I launched the Airstream last year, and everyone thought I was crazy. But, you know, it was the right timing. I went with my gut feeling, and I got the dog, and he is the best thing to ever happen. He is definitely the mascot of the store. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. Sometimes people pop their head in and they ask for Banjo and not me. So always fun. Yeah, he's all over my Instagram. I sell dog stuff now, so you know, everyone comes in for Banjo. He's definitely the light of my life for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like there's a recurring theme here, like go with your gut. You know, yeah. So lesson for the people out there: trust your gut.
Yeah, I don't really, you know, I just go. I just do whatever I want and just whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it, you know, I'll figure a solution if it goes wrong.
No, I heard that. And then, are you Android or iPhone? And what's your favorite app?
iPhone. I feel like I'm definitely on Instagram the most, so I don't know if it's my favorite because I really don't like to be on my phone that much. But I would say let's just not do work related. Let's just say not Instagram. You know, no social, no email. I think that my favorite app would be Afterlight.
Ooh,
even though it's kind of work related, but I just always had a thing for photography, so I just love editing photos. That's always a fun one.
Yeah, and I like even the photos that you sent us to choose from for what we'll use on this podcast. Like, I love like even like the texture or kind of like whatever filter the photographer, whoever used on them. But I can also see like that style reflected in your Instagram. So it is clear like you have like a kind of specific type of style you try to go for in your photographs.
Oh yeah, it takes me like an hour to upload a photo or decide on one. So, but shout out to my photographer Julia, because she's awesome, and her and I pair up and do a lot of collabs together. So we help each other out. And she's awesome. So
No, your pictures are awesome. And I think that's a good lessons learned for the listeners out there too, is like getting those professional photos taken, because when you sent your photos, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I got like 4 to choose from. All of them are high resolutions. They're clear. They're crisp. They're just perfect photos to use for promotion.
It really makes a difference. Like, that was my New Year's resolution, was I have a nice camera. I have a Canon that my boyfriend bought me a couple years ago, and I kind of didn't use it for a little bit. When I first started, I was kind of just doing my iPhone. I was like, oh yeah, it's fine on the iPhone. And I had Julia taking the professional ones, but I started being like, okay, no, wait, I need to use my camera because these photos turn out way better. So I bought and this is something I want to let everyone know that they need to buy right now, is a Wi-Fi SD card. So I bought that this year. That was one of my New Year's resolution was to use my camera more. But the hard part was that I was struggling with last year is I had to actually put my SD card in, upload the photo to my computer, and if I wanted to post it on Instagram, then I had to email it to myself. And I was like, that's way too much work. I'd rather just take it on my phone. So I did some research, and it's called iWi-Fi, I think. And
iFi.
iFi, yeah. You get on Amazon, and it's an app on your phone. I get these great photos, and I can upload it to Instagram within 10 minutes. So...
No, I think I'm glad you mentioned that, because it is a game changer, right? Because that extra step of having to plug your phone into the computer, take out the SD card, put it in some kind of gadget, no one has time for all of that madness. So.
Exactly. No. Like, you could have watched an entire episode of Parks and Rec in that time.
I know, right?
The final question is, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?
Well, I'd probably try to start another business, to be honest. I don't know if I could work for anyone else. I don't know. I could probably think of a few other ideas. I always have ideas popping in my head, so I would probably try to start something else.
Yeah. But I mean, you have like that entrepreneurial spirit now in your blood, so be it.
My parents are entrepreneurs, so I feel like I was bred with it.
No, very cool. And then where can the listeners find you? Like, what's your website and your social media handles?
My website is just www.thewandershop.com, which is relaunching in a couple weeks, which I'm super excited about. And then my Instagram is just @ToTheWanderShop, because the Wander Shop was taken. They have 0 followers, 0 everything. I can't get a hold of it, but I made it to the Wander Shop like you're going to the Wander Shop.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Just like some takeaways. First of all, it's all about the brand. You guys know, as a designer, I'm a design nerd, and I'm all about that branding. And I do think she does a really good job of making sure that all her photos have like the same type of aesthetic. And they're also clear, they're crisp photos. Just remember that as you're posting stuff on your website, you're posting stuff on your Instagram, make sure they have like they're in the same tonal range, that you're really thinking through like what you're posting. And, also just make sure that those pictures are good pictures, because sometimes we do see a lot of pictures that are like fuzzy. Don't post fuzzy pictures. Like, I would say an exercise for you is to go through your Instagram account or whatever other social media accounts you have. And even if a picture has gotten a lot of likes, whatever, if the picture is out of focus, if it's unclear, if it doesn't really go with the rest of your pictures, just delete them, because when people go to your Instagram account, go to your website, whatever, that's your first impression. And immediately they're going to choose to follow or purchase from you, or click and go somewhere else.
Right. And then also another key thing is that she mentioned she actually made a profit within her first year. And the reason being is because she found a place where she can set up her trailer every single day. So she technically had a home base for her trailer. And she did events as well. So it was like she was open every day, just like a regular brick and mortar shop. So that allowed her to increase her profits.
And I like too that she had like a raffle for the launch party, and then she had a launch party. And I think you guys should have heard several episodes in the past where people have had launch parties when they first start their mobile boutique. So if you're starting this year, really think about doing that and having things like raffles and other things that will entice people to come to your party and participate. But here's the thing. Even if you've been in business for a while, still have a party, like especially if you've been, if you haven't been operating for the winter months or whatever, have like a launch party like 2017, we're back in business. Come out and celebrate, our first day out this year. Like,
or an anniversary launch party or something like that.
Yeah. Any reason to get a whole bunch of people together and, create excitement around your brand. So definitely do that. But yeah, anywho, I thought this episode was great. So we hope you guys enjoyed it too.
All right, folks. And don't forget to go to iTunes and leave us an awesome review. We really appreciate it.
And if you want to contribute to the podcast, you could go to startafashiontruck.com/Patreon, Patreon, and you can donate as much as $1 or as much as like $100, whatever, to kind of help support the podcast. We already have several people doing it, which we appreciate. But you help keep us in business. So
and that would be a per episode donation.
Correct. Yep. So if you're like, oh, we love you, we choose to donate at $5, then it's not a one-time $5 fee. It's like, oh, I'll donate $5 every time, and then you can stop that at any point.
So guys, I know you want us to continue talking, but we can't, unfortunately.
I know, we gotta sleep. We gotta get ready and go to sleep so we go to work in the morning. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's been supporting the Studio 78 podcast. You guys are just a great community, and you guys just support women supporting women, and men too. We love you too. So I just want to say thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for parking here.